Now it's time to make the back panel for the grandfather clock. It comes in two pieces, an upper panel which covers the mechanics of the clock and the lower panel which covers the pendulum and the viewing area of the bottom of the clock. Now the plans call for 1/2-inch plywood. It's an excellent choice because it's a very stable material. In my case, I couldn't find 1/2-inch cherry plywood readily available. Number one, it was very expensive. Number two, shipping costs were going to be astronomical. And number three, I wasn't sure that by ordering online I would get a piece of plywood that would match the existing cherry that I have. So I chose to make solid cherry panels for the back of our clock. This meant I would take stock that I already had, I planed it down to 1/2 inch, glued up the edges, and made solid panels. Now with solid wood, we have to take into account expansion and contraction. With changes in weather and humidity and temperature, my board is going to expand and contract this way. And if I have a tight fit in between my two sides, I could actually push those sides apart. So I've got to make a way for this back to actually float in here, yet be very stable and stationary, and be allowed to expand and contract. So let me show you the solution that I came up with. The panels will fit inside rabbets on either side of the sides. The original plans called for a very snug fit. We could do that with plywood. With this solid panel, I've got to allow for this board to move back and forth. So I've cut it 1/4 of an inch narrower than my opening on either side of the sides. Here's the solution I came up with. I'll cut notches in the side of my panels, and using these pan head screws, I'll be able to put the screw, hold the panel in place, but if I don't snug it up too tight, that will allow this panel to move back and forth with expansion and contraction. Here I've got my router table set up with a 1/4 inch router bit. I've marked the placement of all of my slots. To make sure I get a good clean cut, I'm simply going to drop the panel over the bit, let it cut, and then clean it up with a chisel. Let me show you what I mean. With the initial hole cut, now all I've got to do is clean this up with a chisel. Let me show you how I do that. And there we have a slot ready to go. With the lower back panel now in place, I'll drill pilot holes for the screws that will hold it. With the screws now in place, the top and the bottom back panel are secure, yet we also have room for them to expand with humidity.